Hey guys, before I start this video, I just want to kind of cut in here real quick and say thank you for watching my videos. I really appreciate it, and this channel would not be here without you. I've got a lot of cool stuff planned in the future, but for now, thank you very much for watching my videos. It means a lot to me. Single player campaigns are sacred in this industry, even in the shooting game market. If you were an FPS fan during the boom of the modern military shooter about 10 years ago, then you know what gamers have come to expect. Call of Duty, Battlefield, Halo, and other popular shooting franchises out there aren't just multiplayer games. They contain a campaign, and usually some form of cooperative play, be it a zombies mode, a horde mode, whatever the case may be. That's a trio of content that we've been consistently exposed to through the passage of time. Sometimes the campaigns suck. Other times the multiplayer or the co-op would suck. Chances are one of these components was actually good though, which gave people a reason to play the game. Titanfall 2's campaign, for instance, was awesome, while I would argue that Battlefield 3's campaign didn't quite hit the mark. The original Black Ops had a fantastic cooperative mode, specifically the Ascension map, while Advanced Warfare had the least exciting version of zombies, at least for me. But when I go through and play those games, I always have the option to fall back on another mode, be it the multiplayer matches, the Forge mode from Halo, or in most cases, the single player campaign. I remember the first time I played through the Modern Warfare campaign. For its time, it was a truly memorable experience because it wouldn't be for many years that games would blend movie-like exposition and set pieces into a shooting game like Call of Duty did.
Green light, go, go, go! Bridge secure, hold your fire.
It was almost a movie-like plot with multiple perspectives and characters that I actually came to like. Yeah, it was a bit over the top at times, but the pacing of the campaign seemed really nice. From the sneaky submarine mission to the night vision mission Blackout or All Gillied Up, and the gunfire and the explosions through the rest of the campaign, it felt like a really nice addition to the multiplayer component.
This is your stop, amigos. As far as I go.
The same could be said for something like Battlefield Bad Company 2. For all its humor, the 13 levels in this game were a beautiful rendition of a first-person shooting campaign. It was memorable and it was quite fun. And who could forget the best parts of Halo? Halo, although it has turned into quite the different beast today, started out as mainly a single-player game. Yeah, you could play multiplayer, but the game focused on this epic outer space story. It also set the standard for mixed gameplay, with shooting and dialogue and storytelling, and set pieces with vehicles. Not to mention introducing the proper way to do split cooperative campaigns with the option to set your own difficulty. The campaign of a multiplayer game is important for many factors. For one, it provides a safe environment for players to learn the mechanics of the game. It's not easy being new to a competitive shooting game, especially one that has an outstanding player base. It's quite challenging to hop into a game not knowing anything about the controls, the mechanics, how guns function, what you're supposed to do, or how the game is supposed to feel without some training beforehand. The online space is not an appropriate way for many people to learn such fundamentals. In a time where we have lots of new people of all walks of life coming into the gaming scene, it's important for a game to level out the playing field as much as they can. Many games don't include offline modes such as bots or have dedicated training environments. The campaign is exactly that. It's a place where, if done right, new players are gradually taught the mechanics of the game without them realizing it. And games have gotten pretty good at doing this very subtly to make sure that people are comfortable playing their games once they hop into the online component. They can do this by limiting the weapon pool during the introductory phase, providing lenient spawn points early on in the game, this reduces frustration when dying, offering weapon simulation environments such as level 1 of COD 4, FNG, and applying scenario design to early based levels. Scenarios are just sections of scripted gameplay. Scenarios allow the game to control how much it throws at the player and in what capacity, which is a smart way of getting players ramped up into mechanical efficiency. Without a campaign, a lot of people are just too intimidated to jump into competitive online matches where players aren't just mechanically better, but they are more functionally aware.
Watch for motion on the tracker.
The FPS market has been alive for a really long time, and the average player has spent a lot of time in those games, especially Call of Duty. Years of practice have made the overall average population of players straight up better than they've ever been, especially since many casual FPS games are relatively easy to get good at, or at least competent. So for someone new to the shooting genre, they are already at a disadvantage against legacy players before the new game even comes out. The problem comes in though when the campaign feels throwaway. You probably heard the term dumb fun, which is how a lot of people feel about shooting campaigns. There's been a lot of questionable single player modes in games, and many of them have had a very perplexing note to them. And I'm talking about a quality inconsistency. For example, Call of Duty World War II's campaign was just borderline okay and had a lot of hot and cold moments. Shooting galleries, boring corridors, fighting scenarios that had invisible walls, forced character interactions, moments of the game where it would take control out of your hands, way too much, and a ridiculous amount of this. But then you had the level Liberation, which was a really cool spy level where you had a lot of interactive downtime. There was some freedom, different gameplay mechanics, consequences for paying attention or lack of paying attention, then the combat, the explosion, the escape, and then the set piece. You can tell Sledgehammer put a lot of work into this level, and the fact that Liberation was about 25% through the campaign, it was obviously where they spent most of the effort in terms of creating an interesting scenario-based level. A few hours into the game, players need to be surprised or else many of them will lose interest and not finish the campaign, which is exactly why it's placed where it is. The fact is, this is pretty much the only interesting mission though in the game from a creative gameplay standpoint. The problem being that it makes the rest of the game look fairly bland compared to it. So in my opinion, the success of a single-player campaign is much more about how much effort the developer is willing to put into it. Anybody can slap together a few levels with pre-existing assets and call it a quote-unquote campaign, but a good campaign surprises, delights, innovates, excites, and provides stimulation beyond what players expect. Levels like Liberation or One Shot, One Kill provide those moments, but they can't do it alone. A good single-player campaign has to be good from start to finish. It's something that needs nurturing, development, and to be an outlet for the release of creativity. The lack of what people consider a strong single-player campaign is, I believe, why people are so ho-hum about every Battlefield or Call of Duty game. It's been a long time since we've had a truly invigorating single-player experience, at least in my opinion. Unfortunately, many a company these days does not want to invest the time or the effort to make this kind of beautiful thing happen because of the uncertainty of its return on investment. Why spend millions of dollars making a campaign only 15% of players will finish, especially when that campaign gets put in the spotlight like this? But when done right, a fantastic single-player mode can absolutely help strengthen the brand of a franchise. Halo and Titanfall 2 are great examples. Regrettably though, there is way too much inconsistency for a single-player campaign to consistently be reliable, which is the main problem for many shooting games. In terms of the new COD, I do hope that Activision has not just given up on the traditional campaign. If that's true, it sounds like they are giving up on themselves, because they practically invented the movie-style single-player campaign in the first place. These campaigns were once a reason for people to buy video games, so they get some extra value to the package. Is the single-player campaign being replaced by the Battle Royale mode? I hope not, because Battle Royale is a multiplayer mode and Call of Duty already has a multiplayer mode, so it seems like it's not the proper substitute. But it may be for the corporate man behind the desk at Activision. With the crusade against microtransactions in 2017, there was a massive backlash to monetizing our single-player experiences, and the industry is very hesitant to continue doing so. We don't want boosters or in-game stores in our single-player campaigns. It's possible that the new Call of Duty is ditching the single player campaign to cash in on another revenue stream in Battle Royale. Any Battle Royale game comes equipped with for money loot boxes and keys and crates and all this stuff that people can buy for real money. While I'm totally excited to have Battle Royale in Black Ops 4, I just hope it's not why the single player campaign has been pushed out, because honestly it'd be nice to have both. But realistically, gutting single player, a mode that has been the punchline for Call of Duty and that runs millions of dollars in cost, does make plenty of sense from a business standpoint. As someone who grew up on the classic COD games, I'm not afraid of change. I'm not afraid of them taking chances to do a Battle Royale mode. I actually think it's really cool. I just want my single player campaign too, because I know Activision and their studios can do a really good job if they take the time to do so properly. The single player campaign of a shooting game might not be the most exciting thing to some people, but I still think it's really important. I think it's a good outlet for training new players, and it can be really exciting when done right. But you guys let me know what you think about this topic in the comments below. Thanks for watching guys, much love, and we'll see you guys in our next video.